Well, we've been talking, Claire Pearsall and myself, about, freedom of speech and digital ID cards and the like, but the nanny state stretches still further. This time, it's about a ban on energy drinks for under 16-year-olds. Already a voluntary ban on sales to under 16-year-olds in pretty much most supermarkets, but they want to ban the sale from any shop or online to anyone under the age of 16 for energy drinks like Red Bull, Monster and Prime, whether it's a cafe, a vending machine or anywhere else. They reckon up to a third of UK children are thought to consume these types of drinks every single week. And some of these drinks contain way more caffeine than even 2 espressos. And excessive consumption is said to lead to sleep problems, very poor behaviour in schools, kids sort of climbing the walls as they arrive, but also, of course, to obesity as well. They're high sugar as well. So should they be banned? Well, let's talk to Reem Ibrahim. She's spokeswoman at the Institute for Economic Affairs, the free market think tank. Good morning to you, Reem.
Hi, good morning, Julia.
Thanks for joining us. Look, you're going to probably be a bit upset with me because I'm thinking, I don't think under 16-year-olds should drink these things, but I'm not entirely sure anyone should be drinking these things. But should we allow kids to buy and drink this stuff? It's clearly not good for them.
Well, it is clearly not good for them. And I think it's interesting from the wider perspective on this stuff. When we're thinking about when the government are intervening, surely it should be based on genuine evidence. The problem with this particular ban is that it targets the energy drinks industry and completely ignores every other industry. Now, if we were to think about what is genuinely harmful to those children and how much caffeine they're consuming, the majority of the caffeine that children consume doesn't come from energy drinks, right? It's about 10.5% of the caffeine that under 16s consume comes from energy drinks.
Are they drinking coffee instead?
Well, the rest of it comes from sugary drinks. It comes from things like Coca-Cola and Sprite. So the question is, do we think then we're going to start banning sugary drinks for under 16s? You know, we really are.
But hold on a minute. No, but a can of cola, a typical can of cola, the normal size, you've got 40 milligrams of caffeine. But a can of, say, like same size can of Prime, I'd never even heard of this stuff, 140 milligrams. So it's equivalent of like 1.5 double espressos. That's a heck of a lot of caffeine for, say, a 14-year-old to give themselves. And you often see youngsters on the way to school drinking this stuff.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when I was in school, I definitely had a few energy drinks before my exams.
Yeah, it didn't exist in my day.
And it's definitely common. But as you said, I mean, the fact of the matter is the caffeine in those particular drinks is significantly lower. Basically, all of the leading energy drink brands have about 32 milligrams per 100 ml of caffeine. So that's more than tea and Coca-Cola, but it is significantly less than...
But I can understand. You're at the Institute of Economic Affairs, and I completely understand. I used to be I'm quite nanny state about smoking, but you guys have kind of helped talk me out of these views on the basis when they started coming from a wine and a chocolate, and I started getting upset about that. So, you know, be careful what you wish for. I've got no problem. If adults want to go around drinking this stuff, it's entirely up to them, because we're not going around saying you can't have more than 5 cups of coffee a day. But is there an argument when you're talking about children? Although I don't know why it's 16 and not 18. They keep seeming to get very confused about when someone is an adult. So you can vote at 16 and you can have an energy drink at 16, but you can't vape or have an alcoholic drink. I mean, it's all madness. But I don't think, I mean, I wouldn't have let my kid drink this stuff. And I don't think other people's drinks, and I wouldn't want to be a teacher having kids turning up drinking this stuff in the morning, climbing the walls, or they're drinking it at night so they're not sleeping and then they're sleepy in the morning. Either way, isn't there an argument that things that aren't good for children should be banned for children?
Well, I think, Julia, you hit the nail on the head there when you said that you wouldn't let your own children drink these drinks. I mean, that's really the fundamental point here. I do not think that, you know, every single nanny state issue is an issue with children. I mean, I definitely think that children should be restricted from accessing certain things. For example, I think it's right that under 18s cannot buy cigarettes. Even though they're able to access it, I do think that having a legal age limit is right when it comes to those products. But when it comes to the energy drinks industry, what they have done is the government are looking at targeting one industry when it makes absolutely no sense in terms of the actual harm that it has. I mean, children, about 10% of the caffeine that they're drinking is from energy drinks, right? What I've just said, which means that all of these other drinks is really where they're getting their caffeine from. So why is the government now targeting energy drinks? And I think this is part of the broader problem, which is the moral panic. The government are going to say people are afraid of their children looking at having those energy drinks. They're less afraid of Coca-Cola, they're less afraid of sugary drinks because it's something that they know. These new energy drinks will pop up. They're afraid that their children are going to access it. And so the government are going to say, hey guys, look, I'm stepping in and I'm going to take over and I'm going to ban it for those children. It should be up to the parents to ensure that they are deciding what their children
Well, they
are
don't. I mean,
consuming.
let's face it, people don't know what their 14 and 15-year-olds are buying on the way home or to school.
That's absolutely true, but also you don't know that children aren't going to be smoking cigarettes, but we still have a ban for that, right? I mean, this is a question of what is fair, and targeting energy drinks in the same vein. If you want to be consistent, the government should also ban sugary drinks for under 18s or under 16s. They should also restrict every other drink that has caffeine, that contains caffeine.
It'll be a ban on cake next, and again, soon we'll be needing our national digital ID to be able to purchase this stuff.
Well, exactly, and then we're going to start restricting orange juice because that has too much sugar in it in comparison to energy drinks.
Yeah.
Most energy drinks have very little sugar in them. All of the leading brands are very, very restricted with the amount of sugar that they have. Most of the ones that are quite common actually have no sugar at all.
So when they say that, I mean, this is virtually, it was billed as like a tackling obesity among children. That's not it. And then they've gone for caffeine, which I suppose is a bit of a giveaway. They don't really know why they're doing it. I suppose it's equivalent, isn't it? Like banning the sale of single-use vapes because some people are littering them on the ground and selling to under 16s, which was already illegal. Reem Ibrahim, very interesting to talk to you. Thank you very much. She's at the Institute of Economic Affairs.